last time we were doing something, I believe, on the uses of the media by the society, which is on the macro level. And then we also just quickly talked about the uses of media or mass media by individuals, which is the micro analysis. So we did like macro analysis and micro analysis, and on the micro, it's like I just went through quickly. I can just go through again. We talked about the like I think maybe I didn't talk about this element, the use of mass media on the micro level, or which is under the functional approach, because that's what we've been saying. We say that we have the paradigms that are used instead in the process of studying the mass media. I mean mass media for sure, and now or mass communication. So we said one of the paradigms that we started with was the functional approach, and we said the functional approach paradigm is based on how people use mass media, something like that. So on the uses, we found out that there is a macro use or macro analysis, which means you can study the mass media using the macro analysis or micro analysis. So macro, we did it. Micro, I just went quickly. So on the micro, maybe let me just say one or two things that I did not say, because I said it at the end. On the micro analysis, it has got a name which is tied to a theory called the uses and gratification. So it will be a model, let me say quantification model, because this is how people use the mass media. Now, we see in its simplest form, the uses and gratification model posts that the audience members have certain needs or drives that are satisfied by using both the media and media sources. So it's more or less like you are asking yourself that why do these people use mass media? What is the reason behind it? So when you understand this theory, it's when you discover, oh, it's like if there is uses and gratification, for you to achieve gratification, what it means, there is a need, because gratification is satisfaction. So it's the uses and the satisfaction. So for you, if you want to be satisfied, it means there is a need somewhere. So it just says that, okay, people will use the mass media because there is a certain need they want to satisfy. For example, you are lonely, you want to get company, then you are going to go start watching TV. So it means, you know, when you're watching TV, you're going to have company. You want to, so there are a lot of ways whereby you want to get certain information for something, then you're going to go to the mass media to get something to achieve what you want. So you see that on a personal level, the uses and gratification model is much more tied to this one, and the actual needs satisfied by the media are called media gratifications. So as we are saying, uses and gratifications now, media gratifications are those they satisfy the needs that are satisfied by the media, right? So our knowledge of these uses and gratification typically comes from the survey that ask people questions about how they use the media, and out of that is where how people use the media at the micro level was achieved. What they did, they went to the people and asked, like a researcher, asking them, why do you use the media? For example, yourself, if you are using the mass media, I would ask you, why do you use the mass media for? Some will say, oh no, I use it because sometimes I'm bored, or I use it because so there was a lot of things. So what we talked about were the uses that were discovered after the idea of the uses and gratification model was put into place, and somebody go and ask the people. So now, if you remember what we talked about last time, we talked about at the micro level, at the micro level, micro analysis. We started to talk about cognition, we talked about diversion, which in the diversion there is stimulation. Let's put this. In the diversion we have stimulation, then we have just relaxation, then we have emotional release, right? Then we have social utility. Social utility, we have got conversational currency and parasocial relationship. Right, then we talked about affiliation, then expression. What else? Withdrawal. Right. We talked about those. And you were saying? I thought that you were saying something. Right, so we talked about the uses of the mass media at the micro level, which is microanalysis, or at the individual level. We have what is called cognition, and we said on the cognition that cognition is that informational use, whereby you are using it, you want to gain something, you want to know something. You are just curious, or you are just inquisitive to gain certain information about something. So the act of coming to know something, it's that condition. And when a person uses a mass medium to obtain information about something, as I've already said, he or she is using the mass medium for in a positive way. So mass cognition. Then we have diversion. And diversion, as I've said, we've got two forms of diversion. The first form is stimulation, which is there, and the stimulation or seeking relief from boredom or routine activities of everyday life. So you like to have relief. You are seeking relief from boredom or everyday activities of life. There's a lot of things that happens during the day. Now you like to have a break from them. So that's stimulation. And under stimulation, all the same stimulation, psychologists have labeled this simulation as lucid behaviors, and what they say, play. Those are like examples talking about play, recreation, and other form of activity that seems to be performed to maintain a minimum level of intertextual activity. So, for example, you are there, you try to play games. Nowadays there are these online games, so many of them. I don't even know, maybe I need to ask, who has ever played this game called Candy Crush?
Candy Crush?
Candy Crush. You are playing it. How far did you go?
I don't play it far.
How many minutes does it take for you to go to the next level? But all the time, I've got this request of Candy Crush. And I even take it as somehow as a bug, because I've never played it before. But all the time somebody is requesting you to whatever Candy Crush. Candy Crush, do people really play this game? I wanted to find out. Okay. Yeah, but what do you achieve after playing that one? What's the end game?
Just for fun.
Is it entertaining? Because for me, even the way I look at it, it's different with maybe a game, let me say GTA games, or vehicle games, or planes games, whereby you will see that you'll be feeling as if something. But the way I really saw it, was what can this game, how entertaining can this game be? So, okay, I was just surprised that if people really play that game. Because it always, when you're on Facebook, it pop-ups, somebody like your friend is asking you to accept a challenge, Candy Crush. So the playing of such games are under this stimulation we're talking about. You're just trying to have a free time. To some people say freshen up. Some people will say you want to clear your head. That you've been on one thing too much. Now you just want to do something different to have a clear head. Then you go back to it. So something like that. Many people report that they read to pass time. So those people say, for example, I'm reading. It's not that you're reading because you want to get information. No. You don't want to do any other thing, but you just want to pass time. And then you read. And airlines provide audio and video entertainment during long flights in airplanes. You're going to find out that the long airplanes, I don't know if local airplanes in Malawi, if they do that. I don't know, but if you are traveling maybe from here, you're going to UK, you're going to the USA, the planes you are going to take, not just the plane that you are going to board from Malawi, but you can board a plane from here and you go to Africa. Those big planes, you will find out that behind each and every seat, there's going to be a screen. A screen, and there's going to be a place whereby you do select the movies you want, TV channels you want. You're also going to have headsets whereby you play music. So it's not that because they know that you love music, or maybe because you love movies, but it's a long flight. So it's more or less like for stimulation, for you to just have something to do as time. So that's stimulation. So under the same, under the same division, because we are talking about division here, isn't it? So on the division, as I say the stimulation, then there's relaxation. So I think relaxation you can even see, telling us what it does. There's relaxation. So relaxation is or what is called escape. You are trying to escape from the pressures or problems of day-to-day existence, right? So this is like you are literally trying to not just pass time because of you want to have something to do, but there's some other things that are bothering you. Then you just want to. I think it's exactly this. You can put it into people who drink beer and smoke. They could have different things, but I believe that most of the reasons will say. I do believe people talks about getting high. When you say getting high, what are you talking about? Because when you say getting high, it's as if you are not remembering anything. There were some other things, but now you have reached a level where you can't even you don't give a damn about everything. You like you say I don't care about these things. So it's somehow the same thing whereby you are getting away from because those things could be bothering you as problems. So the people will tell you that you are because I think you know even in the movies the way it's portrayed. There's a lot of things people are calling, then after that they'll take a cigarette. It means like they want to chill out of that. So it's an example of the word chill. Even people when they're drinking beer they say no, it's like maybe he had problems. Or even if in the films you say he maybe lost the fight and then he started drinking heavily to forget maybe that those problems. So if you are using it, the mass media for that purpose, that's the escape, the escape use or the relaxation, because it's more like you are escape. Maybe the escape name would be much more appropriate, right? So that's part of the diversion, because the actual issue as we are talking about diversion. From there are some other things that you are diverting from that particular things, right? So something like that. And then we talked about welcome to a new class. As you can see, we've got new desks here, modern ones, without the chairs, and then you have to put the chair. But I think these are much more better, isn't it? Because I don't think that people are going to be coming here. I want to take these desks. Chairs, let's take them. Maybe the chairs, but that'll be okay. That'll be okay. I like those big tables there. Because when you go to college like that, you find those big tables where they are doing architecture. Because the guys that are architecture, they don't sit on chairs. They stand. And those who are doing designing, so they'll be having their boards. So when you go in the class, you find those without chairs. So do the people sit? We have learned before using that one without chairs. All classes are full, and then you just go to, okay, let's go to empty classes, then you find the classes without chairs. 2 hours while standing, you know. That's University of Malawi. People, they can talk about it, but it happens. I know it's everywhere else. Okay, that is that. What I'm saying now is we're just remember at that time we were talking about the uses of the mass media by how mass media is studied, and we talked about mass media is studied using paradigms, and then we said there are usually many paradigms, but the paradigms that we are going to use, there are 2. The first one we talked about the paradigm whereby it's the functional approach. That functional approach, it usually look into how people use mass media, right? So we say mass media is they will look at 2 levels. The first one is how the society uses mass media, which is macro analysis. Then we talked about macro analysis. Today, I talked about micro analysis at the end, but I didn't say much of it. So that's what I'm trying to go through today on the micro analysis, meaning personal level of use. So I say on the personal level of use, usually the study is usually connected to this model. There's also a theory. The model called the uses and the gratification model. And when we talk about, we're going to talk about the theories. You're going to find a theory called uses and gratification theory. In the media realm, one of the theories that is heavily studied, it is this one, the uses and the gratification theory. Even when you are going to be doing your project, they will tell you that every research you're going to be doing, you need to have theories. You cannot just, because it's a scientific research. So because it's scientific, you should have a theory connected to your research. So sometimes you can have 2 theories, sometimes you have 1 theory. But if you go to most of the research papers done by media men, this uses and gratification theory is one of the most used. Why? Most of the research in the media is to do with the effects of the mass media. So because it's the effects of the mass media, people are forced to look into how these people use the mass media. There should be a connection. So because of that, you discover that this is one of the theories you're going to encounter later on. Right. So today, I said that on the micro level, as I say, it's connected to the uses and gratification. People, they went to the audience, to the society, and asked them questions why they use the mass media for different purposes. So these were the different uses that came out. The first one we talked about cognition. This is the first one. And on the cognition we said is the informational, seeking informational use, whereby you want to find, you are seeking certain information. The way you use Google. Maybe this one could be saying cognition is a Google, it's a Google type of maybe use, whereby it's like you are going to Google and search for information. So that's, if you are searching information, that's why you are using mass media. It means you are using it for cognition. Those who use the mass media to get away from problems, so we have got this diversion. So on the diversion, we say that there are 3, as you can see, as we talked about: stimulation, relaxation, and emotional release. Then on the stimulation, I want to say that you're passing time. You're using it because you just want to pass time, and then you are using mass media. I gave an example of that. You can board an airplane. In the airplane, you're going to find out that there are going to be screens there to watch movies. They're going to have headphones for music. That is stimulation. Now, relaxation or escape is the one that we are talking about, whereby you're using the mass media because you want to go away, get away from problems of this earth. You don't want to be thinking about them. So you want to just to concentrate on something, and then you do that. So then you have got emotional release. Emotional release is whereby it's more or less like it's connected like to relaxation, but it's different because maybe you see someone, maybe there could be somebody maybe is angry, so you want to get satisfied. So you say, okay, let me watch a movie, maybe a movie about bad people, but now there's a one character who is beating up bad people. So because you are angry, when you see those people, bad people being beaten up, you get satisfied, as if it is you. Your anger is going to be on that. I think it's an example. Let me just say, you are maybe saying, I don't know nowadays if it happens, but in the past, there used to be, let me say, not cinemas, video shows, places whereby they're showing movies in locations. So when you have a film like a martial art film, and there was a certain bad guy, everybody was angry. When it is at the end where there's a final fight, and you know that the main actor is beating the villain, you see even other people standing up and pretending like they're the ones who is fighting the villain, and they're going to be feeling good as if throwing blows. You always watch it, so it's more or less like for them. It's very emotional. It's like emotional relief. Because when you say emotional relief, it's as if you are angry at somebody, and then you slap somebody. After slapping somebody, you feel fine. So it's more or less like you will use the same way media, but in a certain way. You see? No wonder some which are bad use, bad effects of the media. Somehow people connect some of the body events to the mass media, although they need to be more research. But research, there are some have done a couple of research. For example, there are a number of theories. One of them is the cultivation theory, whereby it talks about people who usually watch violent, especially they did a study in children. So children who usually watch violent movies or maybe shows, they tend to become violent. So they connected it to the shows, which means they are connecting it to the mass media. So you could have some effects that could be not good effects, because I'm giving this example because in the USA there have been mass shootings. Maybe you have heard about it. Somebody come up with the gun, an automatic gun, in the cinema, starts shooting anybody. Most of the time they are young people. So people say, no, there's the Democrats, they were saying it's because of the availability of guns. So we need to pass a law to ban guns. That's what they were saying. While the Republicans, where Trump was, Trump said, no, this has nothing to do with guns. It has something to do with mental health. Because it's an example even here. If we can take a knife and put it at the table, and if somebody stabbed somebody with a knife, can we say it's a problem of the availability of knife? Because there could be a knife there. If we don't have any problem in our head, we cannot use it to stab somebody. It's an example, as we say, we have got these law enforcement guys. Those guys have got guns. Why don't we see them going and just shooting anybody? They have got guns, they have got all the bombs, they have got the material, but they don't do it. So to show that it's not all about to say because it was available. Because they say, if somebody wants to do something bad, even if there is no gun, you will find something. I can give an example. I think nowadays, the John Wick movies. You people watch movies, You know John Wick, isn't it? Keanu Reeves. He could use a pencil. I think he has been said like John Wick 1. So whose person have you ever seen killing people using just a pencil? Not even a gun, not even a knife. So just to show that it could be something to do with the brain. So what are we talking about? The media, people consume the media, and the media have got effects. So because it has got effects, as I'm saying, effects of media are not only always good, they could be bad, but it will depend somehow, as I've said, we're talking about how people use the mass media. It will depend maybe sometimes the way they are being presented to the people and the observing of those people characteristics. So that one. And then there is what is called social utility here, right? So media can be used as a social utility, and the only social utility is including the need to strengthen our ties with family or friends and others in a society, right? So people will use the media to strengthen their friendship with colleagues. Even yourself, you've been doing that. You use the media to strengthen your relationships. In the past, we used to, when there was when movies were not being shared using flash discs, you used to have actual video cassettes. Now people will be borrowing each other video cassettes, and friendships were formed because of by new people. Just because that film, this person doesn't have it, but I know a person who have it, and you go there, okay, that person will borrow you a movie, and then you start to know each other because of that. You borrow the person, you know, what movies do you have? Oh, I also have this one. Then 3 cassettes, and then so something like that. Because nowadays, people will just give you something, you have copied it. By the time you have to borrow, then you're going to return it, you see, at one point. So, social utility, as I'm saying, it's not used whereby you want to strengthen your relationships, your ties with the family. So under social utility, we have got conversational currency and the parasocial relationship. Conversational currency is when we are using the media to provide a common ground for social conversation, which is a very common one. And when it comes to so many things, even for boys, we're going to give an example of soccer, football. Once there is a football match, and you are a Arsenal supporter, somebody is another Arsenal supporter, it means immediately Arsenal has won. You are going to be friends. You're going to be talking about how somebody, maybe a new person, will be bashing Arsenal. Somebody is going to be defending it, and you're also going to be defending it. So because you are together, you're going to be agreeing to each other. You lost, somebody is an opposite player, team, and then is talking bad about your team. You jump in and say no, and your conversation will start. That's why you see conversation currency. So there are so many talking about football. For the ladies, they have got so many things to talk about. As I have said, the ladies will talk about things. We talk about things in silence. They talk about it. How do you know that? You just hear the laugh. You say, what are they laughing about? They didn't say anything, but they know that they have discussed something. Our ladies of wisdom, we are proud of them, isn't it? It's nice, right? So, and it's cool that we have something. But the thing is, if you can take and ask them, what were you laughing about? They will tell you something. They will tell you something that, because they have observed something, maybe it could be something, a fashion thing. But no. Maybe that thing was not supposed to be were like that, because I saw Beyonce was the one who put that one on. So I saw the show. I watched MTV yesterday, and MTV she put it on. So you be talking about things that on what you saw on TV, or maybe what you saw in the magazine, or what you heard on radio. So the thing is, there could be a content could be something about a thing that you are familiar with. For ladies, as I say, it could be fashion, it could be maybe anything to do with or maybe friends, or maybe anything to do with music, the type of music they like, or the film. For boys, as I'm saying, it could be the same thing, maybe it's a movie. But if the conversation is based on this content that is from the mass media, it means you are using the mass media for this conversational currency. It's like the ndarama yocheze. Kuti mucheze pa ndarama yake, what you need to do, mutenge kena kika mass media bena bage, then mukakonye pende popo, mucheza wewe mbika. Yesterday, I'm not giving us oh, I heard on radio, so I think even right now, to know the impact of the mass media in a society like in Malawi, just think about it. Like today or even any other day, how many things do you talk about, even with your friends? Things that they are not in the mass media. That you didn't hear them on radio, you didn't see something on maybe on the internet, you didn't watch them on TV, then you're talking about how many things? You see, there are not going to be so many. Most of the things are going to be what you heard on the radio, what you watched on TV, what you listened to, maybe what you read in the magazine, what you read in the newspaper. So that's how important this function is on the individual people. Then you have got parasocial relationship, and okay, I mean, let me just continue on let me finish on the social, conversational currency, because I talked about whereby it will provide a common ground for social conversation, and people, okay, and then there is a certain social usefulness in having a large depository of things to talk about. I think is what I talked about, that there are so many things that you can talk about that is in the media, which means if you are you would like to chat with somebody maybe you have never chatted with before. If you start to talk about things that are in the mass media, you are not going to learn out of what to talk about, because there are so many of them. So I was just saying, if you have a friend or a person you don't know, you'll never talk to, just take out of whatever is in the mass media. You have a problem to have to find something to talk about. That's how it. So it is apparently in other instances as well. Going to the movies is probably the most common dating behavior for people who are dating. You already know. I don't know if it happens here. Maybe we don't have so many movies theaters, but it's a common thing out there. When you go most of the countries, they will say it's a date. It means they need to go to the movie. You see? So why do they have to go to the movie? They want it's a conversation currency. They will be watching a movie, then they will be having a conversation of what they are seeing. You see? Other than you say you go to the restaurant, you've got nothing to you are seeing. It's going to be a difficult thing to even have something to talk about. But when you have a film, it's a simple. The motion picture theater represents a place where it is socially acceptable to sit next to your date in a dark room without parental supervision. I know we mean in terms of in a good way, in terms of having a conversation, because of that presence of the mass media, film, it's something else like that is easy. So that's a conversation currency. On the parasocial, other people report that the use of the media, particularly television and radio, as they use it as means to overcome loneliness, right? So nowadays, unlike in the past whereby people would just go to a person's house without notice. In the past, you would just say, I don't have anything to do, just go to your friend. You stay there the whole day. They will not complain. You eat food, you do. But nowadays, how many people could be happy for you to just go somewhere without telling them that you're coming and stay there the whole day? How many people can be happy? You're going to have a problem. So because of that, you'll be surprised that nowadays, even in the location wherever you are going, there are too many noise, too much noise. But you go these days, they said a bit quieter. You go in most of the houses, you find there's only one person in the house. Even most of these big houses. But what you're going to notice, there could be a radio on. So because you are alone, when you are alone, you will switch on the radio, and then that radio will be like your friends. You see? And the people will be saying they are alone, but they are speaking. What they are speaking, if you listen, they're answering something on the radio. Suppose as many as hearing what somebody saying, it's as if there was a person, there's a person. So you have got that element where people will use it to, like on the parasocial relationship, as if there is somebody. The TV represents the voice in the house for people who might otherwise be alone, right? And the radio keeps company in their cars. People that are going to be in their cars, and they'll be as if they'll be feeling as if there's somebody there because of the radio. They will not feel, and the way presenters on the radio does, because professionally, radio presentation, people who have got a problem in maybe presenting on the radio, they have got a problem because they imagine that millions or maybe thousands of people are listening to me, and they will be shivering, failing to speak. But what people are told, they say, no. When you think about thousands of people, that's where the problem is. But now, these different people are going to be listening to you separately, individually. Some are just listening on the headphones. So don't imagine that there are thousands of people. Just imagine that you are speaking to one person, a friend. No wonder you've been hearing some of the voices on the radio, the way they speak. They speak as if they're telling you, you see, what are you doing there? And you'll be feeling as if somebody is telling you something, and to the extent that most of the radio presenters, listeners, they know them very well, as if they are their friends. And when they meet them somewhere, you see somebody is greeting you, and you feel as if maybe I've seen this person somewhere, and he's mentioning your name. But you discover, no, I've never met this person, but that person has been listening to you on the radio, and they felt as if you were speaking to them, and they've been listening to you for so many years, and it's as if you are a friend. So that's the nature. It means when they are listening to you, you are like keeping them company. Right? So we have got that one. And some viewers might go to so far to develop feelings. I think you're heard about this. You're talking about the media character, that's what I say. I've been seeing, I know a person whereby nowadays, you just go around, check around and find out people that go to, they say, they talk about, like I know a person, a friend who call Trevor Noah, my hope, and if you go on the page, it's as if the person has met Trevor Noah before. But she has never met Trevor Noah. And you find it, even men also, somebody will say, okay, talking about maybe some presenters, as if, maybe, this is my friend, or this is my relationship. They don't even know those people, but it's because of the media. That's where the parasocial relationship comes in, whereby people are connected to the characters in the media, to the extent they even forget that it's their media characters, but they feel as if they are people that they personally know. You see? Something like that. So that's the thing. That's what about the parasocial relationship. Now we talk about here affiliation. Affiliation is another use of the mass media by people, individuals. Another affiliation, this is the use of individual counterpart to the linkage function. People they will like to get affiliated to a certain group somewhere. You see? Usually they don't want to be like framed as if they are alone. An example would be the way we talk about football. You see, when somebody is talking about football, if maybe the boys are quarreling about football, they will ask you, which team are you? There should be everybody belongs to a certain team. In a Man U, we want Arsenal, we want Chelsea, we want team, something like that. But you see, the masculine, you have to belong to a certain team. So that element of wanting to belong, because you feel you want to belong to something. People will tell you, for example, I'm a Man U fan, and that is in football. Then they'll tell you in the basketball, I am maybe a Golden State Warrior fan. And in terms of the debate between Michael Jordan and LeBron James, I'm a Jordan fan. When it comes to political parties, when it comes to local football, they want to almost all say that they want to belong to something. You see? So that affiliation element in the social, because most of these things we're talking about, most of all these whatever clubs are presented in the mass media. And without the mass media, most of the affiliations that most of the people have would have never existed. For example, even right now, we talk about people, they will say, talk about a certain affiliation, but they have to like a page of specific, maybe club, and they like, they'll be following whatever they do. Right? So, psychologists have recognized that one of the central needs of human beings is a need for affiliation. The need for affiliation refers to a person's desire to feel a sense of belonging or involvement with a social group. Right? So a person's desire to feel, to have that sense of belonging to something. The internet is primarily the medium that fulfills this function for many people. Talking about platforms like Facebook, MySpace. I don't even know if is MySpace still around. There was a period when MySpace was at the top, but I don't even know. It's been a long time since I checked on the internet to look if the MySpace is still around. You know MySpace? Okay. There was a period, a certain period, where MySpace was a thing, but I've never seen MySpace for a while, so I doubt, I don't know. Okay, but we know Facebook, you know Twitter, you know LinkedIn, we know Google, right? So we have groups connected to this. Some of the examples that include some online gamings, instant messaging, dating, and making matchmaking websites and text messaging. What else? The need for affiliation is a powerful one, as evidenced by the 300 million members on Facebook and the 110 million on MySpace and the 35 million professionals on LinkedIn. So how do you know that people need to belong to something? Check the mass media platforms and check how many people are there. For example, TikTok right now should be having something like billion or something people on TikTok. Talking about WhatsApp I know is separate, but TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and other platforms. See how many people are there. Discover there are so many people. And if somebody found out that, for example, you don't have a Facebook account, they look at you as how is it possible? I don't have a Facebook account. Maybe I don't have. So they expect you to be there. For that, if they want to connect to you with you, whatever. So it's all to do with affiliation. Then we have good expression here. And expression, self-expression refers to individuals' need to express their inner thoughts or feelings or opinions, right? And the first example of the need for self-expression are the cave drawings done by the other human beings. So what we are saying, the need for the human beings for self-expression, there is a long history connected to it. Any human beings that were found, like evidence were found that the places where they were living, in the caves, there are so many places, some maybe in Egypt, some elsewhere. When did they discover those places? They discovered that they had the walls of those places. When they came, there were some drawings. For example, even in Egypt, you find out that you have pyramid now. When you go inside, there were drawings. Drawings of different things, and it was telling stories. Some were showing some other activities that were happening by that time. So all those drawings, that's expression. They were expressing something, right? So human beings were got that need to express ourselves through in different ways. So let me see here. Talk about it. Right now with the mass media, we use now, when you say expression, you can express yourself through music, through paintings, through dances, through write-ups, or through sculpture, and so many things. So when you go on the internet, you will find all those things. If somebody has made a song, they want to upload it on the platforms, internet platforms, different platforms, and they are able to do that because of the availability of that mass media to let them display their materials there. And the internet has opened up new vistas for self-expression, as I said. Or even right now, just to give an example, radio. If something happened, you hear about my programs, my phone-in programs. People are going to be given a chance to say what they feel about something. No. People will say something. They're expressing themselves. So without the radio, people will not know. People, they will have anger. They will not know where to express themselves. For example, imagine we have the government now. If we don't have all these media platforms, how can the people, even the government, know what people want? It will be a problem. And how do people express themselves? Because what we see in the newspapers, whereby stories are written on radio and discussing issues, is a form of expression, right? So something like that. The internet has I've already talked about it. Bloggers can express their opinion. For example, you would like to say something about maybe something in the government or somebody. They would blog you. No. You cannot say this. You cannot allow this to say this. Maybe in Malawi. What you can do? You just go on the same internet. You create your own blog. And blog it means they are not platform. Because Facebook, when you post some information on Facebook, they will blog you. We noticed that since the COVID pandemic issue. When you post anything that is seeming to be anti-vaccine, you are blocked. So what are you going to do? You say, no, it's like I'm trying to express myself, you are blocking me. What can you do? Because that is a Facebook owned by somebody. You could create your own blog. A blog is a free place. So it's going to be your own, run by you. But if you are a personal blog, then you can say whatever you want. Nobody can say, no. Because it's your blog. You are not forcing people to read your blog. It's like people who want to read. So people will do that. And the others, as I say, they will say, no. We have an example in Malawi. People, remember we had that during the Kamuzu era, dissent was not allowed. Now, the first major dissent that was in the mass media was through music. That's the only one. They were not straightforward, but you could notice that this is a political song. Like Lucius Banda released a song back then, Mabala. It was a political song, and he was talking about the regime of that time. So what he did there was self-expression. That's what it did. Self-expression. So, there are so many things that goes through that. Many sites later visit that comment with that story that the interesting, that's an interesting maybe way, whereby when you go on the internet, different platforms on internet, or most of the articles, they'll give you a space, or they'll leave a space where readers will comment. Most of the articles. Rarely you find an article on the internet whereby you don't find anywhere to comment. Even on YouTube, when you have videos on YouTube, you have somewhere else to comment. So the reason of leaving that place is for self-expression, right? Then we have withdrawal. And on the withdrawal, it should be emphasized that it is not only the media content that determines audience usage, but also the social context within which media exposes or exposure occurs, right? On this one is we talked about talk about withdrawal. I gave an example for those people who would like to. It is like a diversion issue a little bit, but it's literally withdrawal, whereby you don't want to be part of something, and then you tend to mass media to get away from that thing, or to withdraw from that particular thing. Let me see here. And it could be because of the circumstances around where you are. It's not just a matter of you want it, but it's because of where you are, the circumstances, this environment, you see, it triggering you to do something like that. Where is that? I'm not talking about. Okay, so this is we talk about at times people use the media to create a barrier between themselves and other people or activities, right? So I've already said that you have seen some other people that maybe you want to talk to them, but they will pretend, that's how they draw. They will pretend that they are reading something, or they will pretend that they are watching something. So all that is creating a barrier, isn't it? And they don't want to talk to somebody. Now they're using the mass media. Either they are concentrating on the TV, or maybe they are reading a newspaper. So all those are this media is being used as to create a barrier between themselves and the other things or other people. For example, you talk about the media help people avoid certain chores as children are quick to learn, right? And the hypothetical exchange might be familiar. Right? I talked about, say somebody will ask, it's your time to let the dog out. Maybe they say every morning you should be letting the dog out. So somebody will say, no, I can't. I want to finish watching this program. You do it. So it's like it's running away from doing a certain show, pretending that I'm watching a program. Especially kids, they like that. They make room for a certain program, and they will refuse to do something. No, I'm watching this program. So it's an example of the withdrawal thing. People also use the media to create a buffer zone between themselves and others. And when you are riding the bus or sitting in a public place and do not want it to be disturbed, you bury your head in a book or magazine or newspaper, right? If you are on an airplane, you might pop in an iPad or put your earbuds, and television can perform the same function at home by isolating adults from children or children from adults, right? So adults, they don't want to talk to chat with children. They'll be pretending they are watching a film or a program, something like that. So as I say, the negative consequences of performed by certain function of the mass media are what is called dysfunctions that we talked about. Then after all those for the functional approach, then the critical cultural approach, quickly we talked about on the critical cultural is not, I mean, the mass media is studied not just by looking on how people are using the media, as we say. But on the critical, it's more in depth. It's like what these researchers or psychologists do. They go beyond what they are saying. It's like they dissect the text. They try to find out the meaning of the media content. That, you know, what was this text trying to achieve? Okay, so if this text was trying to achieve, because media content is taken as what is called text. In the critical culture, when you say text, you are talking about any piece of content in that media or in that particular package. So you could study a specific text. A text could be maybe a film. Film could be a text. Okay. Text. What is the meaning behind this text? What were they trying to achieve? So I think for the document I sent, you see there's a brief history on this.
Did you see it?
I'm just assuming I've sent this. If I didn't, I will. But there's a document called, which is titled, the headline, I mean, it's written Media and Society. I don't know, maybe I don't know if I sent this one. But whatever, I sent Dominic. Did you see that Dominic book? I listened to the last book I sent. It's 70 something MB. It's a big one. I didn't say it at the beginning because it's a little bit big. If you can, did you saw that one? Did you go at the group? Or was present? Or right now you have joined? Can you even just check and see? Huh?
I joined yesterday.
But did you check on the group? They were not showing any documents that they were there. If you can open and check the last document I sent, it's a book. It's a Dominic book. It's a very good book. All this should be found there. There's one of the chapters at the beginning. You should be able to find all this.
Since I'm new, I can't find it.
You can't find anything. Okay, so but I sent this is coming from Dominic, right? The RRJ Dominic. Now, so in the Dominic, you're going to find all this. This is there. So the document I'm talking about, I thought I said, but I took part of it from Dominic. So it talked about the history of this field, then the key concepts. So the key concepts, like if you talk about in this approach, if you talk about the culture, you say cultural studies naturally enough broaden the study of the communication to encompass the notion of culture. Culture is a complex concept that refers to the common values, beliefs, social practices, rules, and assumptions that bind a group of people together, right? So, because we're going to talk about culture, because sometimes they just say, this is their culture. What do you talk about? What do you mean when you talk about culture? So, as I said that because this approach, the cultural critical approach, or the critical cultural approach or studies, usually it's in depth. And you have to understand some hidden meanings That's why it's important for whoever is studying the mass media through using this approach should be able to well define what the word or the terms. Let's just say the terms that are used. For instance, culture is one of them. Because some of these terms, they are broader terms. We just use them as if they are narrow terms. But they could be so many things. As I'm saying, when you say culture, for example, you say, okay, what he's doing is their culture. So you say, when you say it's their culture, what are you talking about? So this definition, I think it has encompassed everything. Because if you listen to what they talked about, you will see, I think it is making sense. Because as it is saying in culture, he is talking about the common values. That's number one. There are specific values that are going to be common. And talks about beliefs. You're going to have people who have got common values. They have got common beliefs. They have got these common social practices. They have got some rules that are common. And then also assumptions that also are common. And those assumptions, they'll bind them together. It's an example would just be the way members of different churches are. Or even grouping, the same, so apart from this, even normal grouping, when people talk about Mayo, some other things many you are, for example, nowadays, you always okay, I say yo, I mean, that's what I'm Sakati Suzaki, even like Santa Crista Sisi, I was okay. We didn't have a sneaker, or you everything, so they are clean. Now, if you see the music, or a good price of music, not grouping likes. If you think about even food, what is a specific type of food, even this grouping likes. If you talk about the games, even in sports, but it's a specific type of sports. For example, they'll say basketball, they'll be linked because of basketball. Right? When you talk about it, when they talk about it, I'm sad. People say that. I'm sad. You see, they're more into football. All of them. The layer you find the elas, I mean the blue glass. How can you basketball? He says it's not a woman. So, issues like those whereby we talk about culture, there are so many common elements, and those elements, they will bind that grouping of people together. So you know this is their culture, you see? So that is needed to be understood. As I say, each and every text, and as I talked about text, I'm saying, okay, or let me say, I said, a text is simply the object of analysis, right? You're going to be analyzing a certain object. Any object you're going to be analyzing in this approach is a text. Unlike the common text, we know that no text maybe is a word. In this approach, it's not just a word. It's whatever you are analyzing. And another term is, or it could be anything, as I said. I talk about texts are broadly defined as they can be traditional media content such as TV programs, they could be film ads, they could be books, and so many things, right? And the texts have got meanings. So what we are trying to do is like, in this approach, we will have text, and the goal for a person who is going to be studying mass media using critical approach will be trying to find the meanings of text, because you are going to be understanding that each text have good meaning, and most of the meanings in each text are hidden meanings because they are not explicit, right? So okay, the concepts, as I'm saying, the key concepts of this critical approach, I talked about, you were talking about culture, which is the common beliefs, common practices, common rules, common assumptions, common, or everything that is common, and that those common elements are going to bind a grouping of people together. That's their culture, right? Now I'm saying in this critical culture, something you are going to be analyzing is a text, and each and every text have got a meaning. So your aim is like you're going to be looking for a meaning of that particular text. It's not that the text is going to tell you that it means this. No. Well, I can give an example. We say text can be anything. We talked an example like a film. You have a film whereby, or I gave an example of horror films. I say most of the horror films, there's a belief that when there is a black person in a horror film, either he's going to be the first one to be killed, or he's not going to survive until the end of the film. Most of the films. So people will say, no. So that's your text. We say, why do we have black people only always dying maybe first? So that is the representation. You get the meaning. You say, no. What is the hidden meaning here? Or for example, whereby you are having, let me say, the films we see, the film law characters, you discover that if there is a waiter, it's going to be a black person. If there is a boss at the bank, it's going to be a white person. If there is going to be maybe somebody driving a car, it's like a driver. Maybe it's a Chinese or Indian. If you see, so you'll be seeing, you see these roles that these people are placed. It's not that they just placed there. It's like there's a meaning. They are like saying something as if they're saying as if a black person cannot be a boss at the bank. That's the hidden meaning.
Yeah.
So for you could say that, okay, the meaning you could get out of that, you could say, this text, there is a certain representation, message that has been sent to the people. And that representation, it seems like it's a small issue. It could affect people. Because I saw an example, like recently. Most of us, we grew up watching Walt Disney film cartoons. There was Winnie the Pooh, Mickey Mouse, all those. So now they are representation. Those are cartoons. But although they are cartoons, they represent whatever the story they are telling. They will be putting specific type of people. Now there is one of the character of the Walt Disney, mermaids, little mermaids. A mermaid, you have seen maybe mermaid. Like there is usually they say little mermaid, they say it's like a girl who is at the top is a human being, below is a fish. Maybe I've seen a picture somewhere. So they say it's a little mermaid. So the first story of a little mermaid was like a cartoon. So it was a cartoon, and that she was living in the ocean. She was below. She was like a fish. So she was doing music. So the first representation of the little mermaid was a white person. When you go up, you'll see a white person. All the little mermaids have been white persons. Now there's a new Little Mermaid movie. What Disney, but it's a film. No, it's not a cartoon. So the Little Mermaid is a black person. Now there was an uproar on the internet. A certain group of people were not happy. So people say, why are you not happy? How can Little Mermaid be a white black person? Because they're taking a Little Mermaid as a special person. So you say, okay, it means that when you are casting and you are putting a white person, it means you knew what you were doing. Because even when the film was shot, there were clips of video. They were filming kids and seeing to find out their reactions. So most of the black kids, when they watch the film, the reaction, like one of the clips, like she was surprised. And mom, he's a black person. And she didn't believe it. You can have a little mom with a black person. So people say, and she was even surprised, and she was even happy that she's seeing a black person, a character that has been always a white person. So people say, no. This is how the media would be. Representation, because it's as if they're just presenting them, but there is a hidden meaning. If they were putting, as I gave an example, if you are having films whereby white people are acting films whereby they are bank managers, they are superheroes, they are whatever. When it comes to black people, slavery movies, slavery. So when a black person acts a film like a superhero movie, people are not satisfied. The only problem is what message you are sending to the kids? When the kids are watching they will believe that you can't have a black person like a superhero. Or a black person cannot be a black marriage. And another example is the example I think you see where most of the people come from. You see, we're going to give an example like maybe Mozambique. Mozambique, there are a lot of people whereby their fathers were mechanics. So most of what were so-called coloreds, people are wondering, why do we have a lot of coloreds that are mechanics? Because they were watching their fathers. My father is a mechanic. They were adapted. Then they also have an ambition to be a mechanic. Their children also watch them who are like, so mere seeing somebody doing it, you could pass a message. So that's also an impact that media has. So as a critical analyzer, those are the meaning you are going to be looking into a text. That in a normal sense, this one, it is saying that this is maybe a person or this person. But a hidden meaning of this, which is in this text, it could be this, it could be that. So that's how, and I say that text, they will have, or text have got meanings or interpretation that audience members will take away. So you have the text, as I'm saying that the way you are going to be analyzing, you're going to be seeing that, okay, what was the intention of the creator of this message? Okay, when the audience have watched this, what meanings did they obtain? So you discover that the meanings, as I've already said, that the audience will get from the text are not going to be one type. There will be different types. There could be a meaning which is as intended, or there could be meanings that is going to be different from even the intention of the actual person who was sending the actual text. Right? So there is this meaning when they say texts have many meanings. They are what is called polysemic. Polysemic, it means you need to understand that the text you're going to be studying, they are polysemic, meaning they have many meanings, more than one. So, unlike as we talked about that, if you remember, we talked about in the functional approach, it's more or less like one thing. They will tell you, I was using this for dimension. It could be just that one. You're not going to go deeper. That no, it's not dimension. No. That's what he has told you. Well, it's going to be that. But in this one, it could be intended for people to be using it for something. But you could look at it and then you discover that no, this has been used maybe different from the way it was supposed to be. Or even people who use something, not just one thing. That's why different members of the audience will have different interpretation of the same text. You send the text, this person will interpret it differently. It's as if, I think, because you're dealing with different cultures. That's why in this one, there's an element of culture. It's examples I gave you that if you issues to do with culture, there are complex issues. Because I'm saying, you go somewhere, I think you heard about it, but when you go somewhere, and when you elders come, you're supposed to kneel. You see something like in African culture, most of the cultures. While when you go in European culture, you find out that even an in-law will come, father-in-law will come, because the in-law will not, the wife, the in-law will not kneel, will stand tall with the father-in-law. Oh, and shake him in the hand. In Africa, people say, no, this person is rude. Doesn't have manners. Why it is according to her culture, it is an okay issue. For the other culture, so what meaning is like when these people from her culture see that, they will say she's a good person. She's able to greet her father in-law. But when the people from the other culture, they will look at it and say, no, she's a very rude wife. So that's how complex text could be. The same text, people could could interpret it differently, connected with culture. As I say, culture is very complex issue. So in this approach, you are going to analyze the items using, we talked about, you are going to understand, you have to understand the culture. You have to know that you have got text. You have to know that the text without a good meaning, as I have already said that, and the text is the polysemic, right? Then you have got what is known as ideology. Ideology, right? So you have got an ideology, and this term called hegemony. Hegemony. What is the time now? Those, oh yeah, I think. Oh, right? So, in terms of ideology, if you talk about ideology, okay, as we've said that different members of the audience we have different interpretations of the same text, one, and some may interpret it the way the source intended, while others may provide their own unique meanings. So an ideology is it is context, content in text. Because we have said that we have got this culture which is binding people together. Now you have a text that you would like to analyze. There's this text. So for you to be able to analyze that text easily, it means you have to understand the culture of the people who are, if it is there are people who are using that, if it's a text of that text, let me just say, the culture that is connected to that text. So you know, okay, in this culture, if it's like this, it means it's an okay thing, right? Yes. Okay. But they don't have room 6. Oh, room 6. Oh, that's one. Okay. You don't know that this one. Yeah, so what I was saying, you have, you're going to have the text that you would like to analyze, and then in that text, it contains an ideology, right? There is an ideology in this text that can influence the people. So ideology is a specific set of ideas or beliefs, particularly regarding social and political subjects, right? And mass communication messages and other objects of popular culture have ideology embedded in them. That's why I say an ideology is not visible. For example, in the media right now, we have got a lot of hidden meanings in different text. Like if you watch TV, for a person who can be able to analyze text using this approach, you could know that I think most of these stories we are seeing, they're trying to encourage something. Like I'll give you an example right now. There's a lot of stories talking about a man wearing a dress. Sam Smith dress, a popular person. Even recently, they said LeBron James he has made a record, like he has got the most goal baskets. The picture that is been used by LeBron James, people didn't notice it. Myself, I analyzed it. He sat down like on the throne. If you see down there, as I noticed that it's not a shirt, it's a dress. And I was even in a debate with somebody. No. Why are you putting on a dress? There is a basketball player from the same Lakers team, Russell Westbrook. he put on a dress at a certain time. I said, no. Actor Brad Pitt, there was a time when he put on. So I said, why are these people all of a sudden putting on dresses where they are men? So that's, you will see, no, I think there's an ideology that is being embedded in these messages we are seeing. Some people are trying to devise, for this ideology, it's like it is connected to the culture. Ideology is connected to culture. It's like I'm trying to I want you to be doing something, but I don't want to tell you to be doing it. I want to influence you, like influence you indirectly, without telling you. I'll be just exposing you or putting hidden messages or in different things that you are seeing or that you are doing. Little by little, you're going to be like seeing that, finding out, I think maybe this is no, maybe this is no. At the end of the day, you are going to, they say, radicalize it, and you're going to end up thinking that is okay. So for a person like a media person like you, let me just say, who knows that in each and every text there's an ideology, you should be able to see a text and get the normal meaning and also find out an ideology that is behind that text. That's what we're talking about, right? So, for example, you talk about sometimes an ideology is easy to see, sometimes it's straightforward, and sometimes you have commercials. For example, these commercials, they will illustrate the belief that consumption is good for you and society, right? And other times, ideology is subtler and harder to detect, right? So I think in most of the ideology you find them as what has been said in other debates, whereby they'll be encouraging like something else is okay, it's good, which was not true. And when it comes to hegemony, has to do with the power relationships and dominance. Right? Like in Malawi, for example, those who own the channels of mass communication possess the cultural hegemony over the rest of us. Groups with political and economic power exert or extend their influence over those groups who are powerless, right? Or under the margins of the society, right? So hegemony is not like a force, but is a base. It is something that is, let me say, will give those people this dominance. Because we're talking about if you are in power, if you have got the power, you know that people are getting the messages from the mass media. So if you own the mass media, let me say channels, it means you have got the power that you have got the power in your hands that you could influence the people. Because you could use the same media to advance your ideology. So what it means you have got the hegemony. But when the hegemony, you have got that dominance, you can dominate. Like I'm saying, if you say, I gave an example like in USA, we have got the Democrats. Most of the mainstream media that we see in the world are owned by people that are connected to the Democrats. So when they want to talk about something, they could dominate an ideology. And I give you an example like, check most of this mass media, that how many do they talk good about Trump and how many they talk bad about Trump. You discover there are so many that talks bad about Trump. What it means, the owners of those, most of them are connected to what are the Democrats that are opposite to Trump. So they are able to use their platforms to advance an ideology, to tell the people that no, this person is bad. So they will end up now, their ideology will dominate. It's not that dominating because it's a good one, but it's because they have got the means to those mass media platforms that they could use to do that. Right? Let me see here. hegemony creates the position of superior and inferior. So the hegemony could separate will show that I think these people are superior, because people who are poor, they don't have any access to say that they will, in fact, even the most decisions I mean, okay, and the what they say, they didn't ask local people. They will ask the people that are a little bit at the top, and they will take those ideas that most of the people are saying this. While when you go and ask people at the village, that where the majority of people, you discover they'll say, no, we don't like this. But because they don't have a voice where to express themselves, they will be like a minority, inferior, let me just say. So that the hegemony element will create inferior and superiority or superior group. And that's what happens. So that is to do with this approach. So I think this approach is a little bit complex. I know I've talked a lot, but maybe you can understand the way it is. It's like the other one was straightforward, the functional one. But this one you need to. There's a course. I don't know. We don't have that course here. Maybe we will be introduced later on. It's called media criticism. So media criticism. You use, this is the area that you use. There is what is called psychoanalysis. You are going to be given exams. We will just give you a photograph and tell you to analyze the photograph. So when you say we analyze the photograph, you're not going to tell us just what you are seeing, but we will say, you will give us even hidden meanings. They will tell you, they will be here. You don't know the person, but you could be able to know that this person could be rich. How do you know that? There could be something else around. Maybe he's looking like a poor person, but there is an iPhone here, the new latest iPhone. And you know how much the latest iPhone is. Maybe 1 million, 2 million something. So you say, this person looking like a poor guy, but now this person is not poor. Because how do you know that? On the table, you see that's his phone. This is one of the most expensive phones around. Which means maybe there's something that has happened to this guy, maybe to look the way he is, or maybe he's trying to is he presenting something, or maybe he's doing a play or something, because the phone he has is not much good the way he is looking. So you could analyze it. So that is, I'm just giving an example to maybe an approach of this critical culture whereby you go beyond what you are seeing. And if you can be able to even to analyze media using this approach, when you go into this media institutions, you could be even an editor or even an analyst. Because analysts, this is what they need to be able to do. Somebody is telling them something, they should be able to say, no, although this person is telling us this, they could be this, they could be this. So suddenly, you take the same thing. They could be lying. So, as an analyst, you should be able to be beyond what you are seeing, beyond what you are hearing. Yeah. So that's about the critical cultural approach of this mass media. So today I think we'll pause there. I don't know if I said that we are on the question. This thing will be. I said that I thought that I said this document, but I said a book. I mean, you're saying, Chance, you're saying that you didn't see it because you are new, but did you see it yourself? And then that's the book I said. Dominic, did you notice that I've said something? Okay, that is a book. There's a book called The Dynamics of Mass Communication. I think do believe it's media. It's a little bit like just large fire. It's something here, but it's a very good book for this course. If you take that book and look, whatever I'm saying here, you are going to find it there. One of the early chapters. So don't be lazy to just see it. I'm going to read. No, it's a book. So most of these books, as I tell you, you are not to say that I'm having exams tomorrow. I will read it today. You can't. That is lying to yourself. It's a book. You're talking about maybe 700 something pages of what they said before. So the easiest thing will be While you have time, right now, go through it. It's a very good book in the sense that it's one of these modern books, whereby they consider readability, whereby you can, it's a beautiful book, let me just tell you. And then, for you all this situation, I'm telling you that books, even digital books, are expensive. Maybe you don't know that. A book like that one, to buy it online, most of the time when you search, you don't find it. They are very, they are stingy, these guys.
Yeah.
That book, if you find it online, like to say, it could be maybe something like $300 and something. $300 and something calculated to my watch. How much can that be? It's around 300 and something thousand. No, that's how expensive some of this book. People take it for granted that no. Educational books are expensive. So there are some that they can be easily found. But that book, I remember, I was searching for it. I found another version. This one, you will just find it like a front page and the content, not the book. So likely this book I found is somewhere else. That's why I'm saying, because it's one of the easiest book. It's not a complicated book. Beautiful book, beautiful pictures, HD pictures in there. You will even see that it's a very good book. And all this I'm talking about, if you want to understand it, read it. It's easy for you to get it. So make sure that you have downloaded it and you have the laptop, put it in your laptop and then read it. Some of the what I'm saying, like these ones, if you say I'll read that one time, you don't understand it. You need to have free time to read it, to get the concept, right? So for today, let us pause there and link up this week.